tint. Look how much different from the previous video that the car looks now with the black roof, of course. Hey everybody, Brooks and Drag Times here. It is SF90 drop off today. I'm here with Brandon from Hughes Detailing.
How's it going, guys?
We're gonna go over the complete spec of the SF90. It's already been prepped, it's already got tint, it's already been polished. And then from here, they're gonna do the complete XPEL coating. And then we're gonna talk about why the roof is red, not black. So let's dig into the spec. First of all, Brandon, check out this box we got right here. This is what you get from Ferrari. Now did not come like this on the F8.
Okay.
So they deliver this nice, this is basically a key box. You open this up and it has two keys. This is one key design. Kind of matches the front of the Ferrari right there. And if you don't want to be that bold and obnoxious, they give you another key with a silver back. And then underneath, you can actually modulize this. Underneath there's another option, which actually has the car type and everything. And then it comes with a few tools, which allow you to dissect the key and switch everything up. So this is actually a pretty cool carbon fiber key box. And then next to that, we have the charger. So obviously the SF90 is a hybrid, 986 horsepower. Now this charger plugs into the back and charges the hybrid battery, which is good for 15 miles of range. And it also charges the 12 volt battery.
Correct.
So they actually say you need to leave this plugged in when you're not using the car for extended period of time. So you don't have this big bulky charger like the P1 and the LaFerrari.
No need for a big box. Just nice,
so this just plugs into the wall right here, and this plugs into the back of the car. It's got two kind of buttons where it opens up, one side for the electric and then one side for the fuel. But let's go into the spec of the car, talk about some of the options, and then we'll dig into how we're going to protect it. All right, so onto the spec. This is Scuderia Red, which is the same red as my F8. And let's kind of go over the options it has. Now, as you saw in my spec video, I spec'd a black roof, and the black roof is supposed to go from here down onto here. And when I posted some stories up on Instagram, a little bit of a YouTube live, everyone's like, yo, I thought the roof was supposed to be black. I don't know what happened. On my spec, it was black. On the documents I signed, it was black. Somewhere between the dealer and the factory, no one really knows. It came with a red roof.
The car came red.
We have a special black film that we're gonna apply to the roof. And I guess kind of the good thing is I got a choice now.
Yeah, so you can either stay with the red roof or the good thing is we'll have the black roof. So if you get bored of it, peel it off and you're back to square one.
Because you can't go the other way. Obviously you can't wrap it red. You will never match the color.
Correct.
All right, so in my hand, you can see this, see how black it is and how it doesn't have any of that orange peel effect that you might get when wrapping the car. So yeah, this entire area through back to here. So the XPEL film, tint film is already on. What kind of tint is this? So
the car right now has XPEL's XR Plus ceramic tint. Okay. So what we did is for all of Brooks's cars, he gets 20% on all the side windows. So we can see here, so kind of a nice dark appearance, but still, you know, great clarity out of it. And then we did the front too. Yep. And then the front windshield has our 70% film. So this is completely clear. So the idea behind this film is that we have complete visibility in and out of it, whether it's daytime or nighttime. But also it's more for UV protection and then infrared rejection. Perfect. So it keeps the car nice and cool, but giving you protection to the interior. Awesome, looks fantastic. So here is my spec sheet, which you might have seen in another video. Total $566,000. First option is Apple Carplay. $4,219, which, man, I really didn't want to pay that. But I felt like when I experienced it in the other SF90, it was integral for navigation and playing music back and displaying all the things, because it's got a big screen instrument cluster. It's pretty massive. Which we'll show later. But I mean, it's crazy. You get that free in like a Honda Civic. I know. Ferrari tax on for it. And Ferrari's charged me $4,200. So I will plug my phone in maybe when we get in the car and check out some of the interior to show that. AFS System America. $4,200. This is the lighting system in the front of the car. The only reason I would get that, normally I wouldn't get that, is because Ferrari requires you to have that if you want to have the front lift system. So if you want to be able to lift the front up and go over curbs and bumps and that kind of stuff, they make you buy that. So the front lift system on here is a $5,737. So $5,700 plus the $4,000. At $10,000.
So $10,000 if you just want the front to lift up. But I mean, that's kind of a requirement on these cars so you don't scrape things up.
Really necessary.
Yep, so on to the next one. We got Alcantara central seats. Let's check out these seats. Altogether, I believe when you add up all the seat options that I picked on this car, and this is unusual for me, I think we're in for like $18,000 because that is just the insert portion of the seat. So as you can see here, this is a leather side bolster with Alcantara inserts right here. And then I think on the sticker additional, we'll look at that. This is extra. How much is the horse stitch headrest?
For an extra $1,200, $1,266.
So this right here is $1,200. And then the color red insert is how much?
Colored inner details, I'm assuming that's it?
Yep.
For almost $1,200.
So this is $1,200. This is another.
Actually, no, sorry. Colored special stitching is $800.
Nope, that's this.
Or that's different.
Yep. I think that's the inserts. So we got the inserts.
Yeah, so colored inner details would be $1,200.
Yep. Okay, and then we got this. We got the Alcantara we paid for. And then the big one is these carbon fiber racing seats, which is over $10,000. What's the exact amount on that?
$10,124.
$10,124 for these beautiful carbon seats. Now these are super lightweight, but they're better than any other carbon seat I've sat in because they're adjustable, and that's the key thing in here. So right here is a dial where you can crank up and back. And because you can adjust that way, it makes it a lot more comfortable to the car. So there's only two adjustments on this side. There's a bar under here which you can move the seat front and back right here. And then you can go back here. Now on the driver's side, we'll go around. There's another option on the seat called the racing seat lifter. How much is that? $2,500?
$2,500.
So $2,500 gives you the ability on the driver's side to raise and lower the seat. Now this used to be a manual lever up and down like it was in the F8. However, in the SF90, they went to electric. So right here, you can bring up and down the seat, and that allows for different size drivers to be able to see out the front. So on to my wheel choice, I picked the diamond cut. No surprise, you've seen my other videos. I always like a dark and bright wheel at the same time. These wheels are just incredible. So these are the diamond cut, super lightweight forged wheels. $8,600 option for this. A Ferrari makes you buy these titanium lugs as well, and that's an additional $1,600. So total, I think we're in for about $10,000 just in wheels. And if you want the calipers yellow, about $1,600.
$1,500.
So $1,500 just to paint the calipers yellow. And when you do that, it comes free with, I believe, the yellow insert right here. So this lines up really well. Of course, this is extra too. So if you want the Scuderia Ferrari shields on the side, you're gonna pay another $1,800. There is an option to have those painted to save some weight, and I believe that's $12,000. You've seen that come in?
Yeah. We had on a A12 GTS.
Yeah, I mean, you really gotta want to spend some money if you're gonna spend $12,000.
And it's actually much bigger than the factory shields.
It is, yeah. It takes up a lot more space.
In proportion, it's about like that much bigger.
Yeah.
It's cool. Depends on the car.
Yeah, so I thought this kind of lines up, matches with the little bit of yellow here and then the red inside for the interior bits. Onto the rear of the car, another option was the black ceramic exhaust tips. There was a titanium option, but I saw them on the F8 when I was looking, and it didn't look like titanium that I've seen before. And I thought on this car, it wasn't turning purple on the car I saw, so I figured why spend the extra money for that? I would just go with the black exhaust tips. I think it matches great with the rear bumper area of the car. It's
all the matte rear
cool
diffuser
design.
pieces.
Exactly. Onto the engine bay. We will open this up, and we can check out the engine, which is way down there. I think if you've seen other SF90 videos, you will have noticed that how much room is in here. It's crazy. I mean, the engine is sunk way, way down there. This is a 4-liter twin turbo V8, and this car also has 3 electric motors, one on each wheel in the front, and then a motor somewhere between the transmission and the engine, which helps it boost even more. Fun fact is this is an 8-speed dual clutch transmission with no reverse.
Does it have reverse?
There's no reverse. There's no reverse gear. 8 forward gears.
How does it go back then?
How does it go back? Well, the front motors.
Okay.
So the 2 motors in the front, when you want to go in reverse, just puts the front wheels in reverse and you back up.
Oh, that works.
So my question was, what happens when the battery dies? Do you still have reverse?
Probably not.
Yeah, I think what you have to do is you start the engine, that charges the battery, and then you get in reverse. It'll be interesting. Maybe I'll do that test. Although you really don't want to drain the batteries down that much.
Hopefully we don't have to find out. So.
Exactly. But I think why there's so much room in here is for the Spider, because you imagine the roof is going to drop right back in that spot.
Yeah, because all the convertible hardtop pieces would have to fold somewhere. So
exactly.
they want to keep the design more or less the same.
I think the only disadvantage, again, is the motor way down there, is that when you're looking in the rearview mirror, you don't get to see it. Nope. So a lot of the Ferraris, when you don't have convertibles, you have this window through the engine. You can see it back there. But with the engine way down in there, you can't see anything. Of course, there were a lot of options I didn't get in here. You could probably spend $20,000 if you wanted some carbon pieces instead of the plastic. Of course, that doesn't make the car faster or really add to the effect for me. And I only really got one optional carbon option in the car, and that is inside. So let's check it out. Before we jump into the inside, let's check out the front area. Double click on the key here. That pops that open. There are some interesting electrical components inside. Now here they give you some struts. In the back they give you a prop bar. But over here we got the car cover, some plate stuff. This is a bag for the charger right here. Here they expose some of the electrical components for the hybrid system. This stands for something, I'll put it on the screen, I forget, RACE, but nevertheless you can see some of the high voltage components. They give you a nice window into that as well. For storage, because this is has motors and front wheel drive, not a lot of space up here. Typical and rear drive Ferraris, you get a lot more space. So not much storage, but I'd rather have less storage and 1,000 horsepower. We just removed the car cover and some of the bits. I thought this was a lot deeper. It is actually hardly any space in here at all.
Super tiny.
And then of course you get your personalization plaque on the car, which lists all the options which we just went over. So let's jump inside the car, check out the interior options we put in here. So we added the carbon driving zone. I believe it's $7,500, which includes the shift lights up top, carbon here, and the carbon paddles, and I think that's it.
I think that's it for carbon.
Yeah, on the F8 we had a little more carbon over here, but so that's $7,500 to get the carbon steering wheel, carbon here, and that's it for the carbon. We also did Alcantara inserts on the doors, as well as some optional red stitching over here and on the dash around up in here. I think that was $800 on the sticker.
Something
like
that.
All right, so we got a cold start. Let's hear the engine right now. Here is Carplay. We got my iPhone plugged in, and you can see Carplay takes over the majority of the center screen, and it's controlled using these haptic switches. So that backs up, and then you slide your finger left and right to select different things. It's a little not that easy to control, but I guess I will get used to it. So you kind of slide over here, and then we got Spotify, Waze, WhatsApp. So we go to Google Maps, and you press in there, and then that selects it. So that will take some getting used to. All right, so that's a complete overview of the complete spec of the car. Now it's on to getting it protected from XPEL. What are we doing today?
Yep. So the car is polished in right now, so we removed all the factory imperfections that are here, and we're going to be moving on to the XPEL Ultimate Paint Protection Film. So we're wrapping the entire car in the clear protective film to protect the original finish. That way there's no more rock chips. You can drive the car, not have to worry about it. So all the gloss paint is going to be getting the Ultimate film, and then all of the matte portions of the car is going to be having the Stealth Paint Protection Film.
Perfect.
So everything on the car is going to get wrapped. We're going to be doing the black roof wrap, and then after everything is wrapped on the car, we're going to be putting XPEL's Fusion coating, which is their ceramic coating to make the car super easy to clean and maintain, make the car much glossier, and make it so the film has a little bit of extra protection.
Perfect. Man, I cannot wait to pick it up. So I think it takes about a week?
Yep, just about.
All right, so 1 week, I will come pick it up. I'm going to move now into the montage of them coating the car, protecting the car, wrapping the roof, and then we'll come back for pickup and first impressions.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, Brandon. We'll see you later. All right, so we're back at Hughes Detailing. It's about 10 days later, and the car is completely wrapped. Let's check it out. We got the full wrapper on the entire car. We want to protect the entire thing. XPEL Ultimate Plus. We also got the XPEL tint. Look how much different from the previous video that the car looks now with the black roof. Of course, this is how I always envisioned getting the car. Unfortunately, somewhere along the lines of ordering the Ferrari, it ended up with a red roof. But now I have the choice of both, because I can just take off the wrap if I want and go with a completely red car, or go with this. And I think with the blacked out front, it looks like a fighter jet canopy, like this thing should just open up. It is so, so cool. And around to the back, the entire car is done. This is actually an active aero wing. I believe this depresses down to add to downforce at different speeds. We're gonna do a little demonstration. I'll put a GoPro on the back here later and do some testing. Onto the side. Of course, we already went over the spec. We got the diamond cut wheels. They even stealth wrapped these intakes right here to protect against any rocks or debris that might come up in here, because it's a big intake vent area there. Car looks fantastic. They did an incredible, incredible job. Car will be protected for years to come. We also got ceramic coating over the entire car, so it'll help against protecting the wrap underneath there against bug debris and all kinds of other elements from the weather. And just like that, this is the cleanest the car is ever going to be. And this is what I'm left with here in South Florida. Pouring rainstorm. There is no end in sight. And I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and go out in this rainstorm and get the Ferrari SF90 completely drenched and dirty, and have to get this detailed, because we actually have a photo shoot coming up with K Fletch. I know you've seen some of his stuff. We're gonna do some awesome rolling shots with the Ferrari. And don't miss, at the end of this video, I'm gonna do the first 0 to 60 testing with my own car and see if I can get a record with the SF90s. So let's roll into the testing. All right, first start up and drive away. Here we go. This thing lights up like a Christmas tree in here. Pretty loud. When the valves close down, it gets a little quieter. I gotta learn all this stuff. It's gonna take a while. Let's get moving.